The main cause of aim inconsistency in Valorant stems from this one issue. What's the issue? A static aim style. In order to maximize your aim, you need to be aiming more dynamically.
Just not down right now.
Oh, dude, that's so.
One enemy remaining.
I think it's here.
Hit A, hit A.
Down A.
Nice. Good job, man.
For example, if the targets are big or close together, you can go really fast, and likely you'll keep high accuracy. Why would you take your time with these shots when you can consistently hit them really fast? It would make sense that you die instantly in these situations when trying to calm aim or taking your time with your shots, because the enemy can kill you really fast and consistently without taking their time. On the contrary, if the target is small or really far apart, you need to take more time. Why would you rush your shot just to miss 80% of the time? If it's a harder target to hit, you can't aim like it's an easy one. This can easily be practiced in aim trainers. Slow down your aim for small and far away targets. Speed up your aim for close together and big targets. The best aimers in the scene preach this more than anyone else, and yet it's completely overlooked. Everyone hyperfixates on the advice of a fast flick close to the target and a slow flick to adjust. The problem is that you can fall into some bad habits by practicing this, by slowing down your aim too much in order to get the technique down.
Wait for my net to...
Nice. One more yellow.
Nice.
And so even if the technique is good, by slowing down too much, you're actually practicing poor technique in other ways. So I think the problem lies with pacing. When going fast, you get a tempo in your head at which you believe you should be hitting your shots. The thing is, most of the time you probably do hit your shots at this tempo. However, when a harder to hit target comes up, you will undoubtedly miss. Try to hit it again at the same tempo, you're gonna miss again. And this is the real reason you're whiffing your shots. Taking this even further, slowing your tempo to get good technique is also bad, because for the easy shots, you are slowing down far too much. This is also just as bad of a habit and will often get you insta-killed when you get in game. With all that being said, it seems super complicated and hard to implement, whatever. But I think by simply changing your perspective a bit, it can become a lot easier. Thinking of your aim as a static skill is bad. In simple terms, this is understood as you miss your shots because you're bad, and you hit your shots because you're good. My argument is that aim is actually more dynamic than this. You don't miss your shots just because you're bad. You missed your shots because you were going too fast, given the circumstance. This gives you an easy adjustment that you can implement over time. If you notice you died and you were aiming really fast, well, maybe you should have aimed slower in that situation. It's easy to tell if you're doing this if you often get the first shot off, but you miss. And then on the contrary, it's easy to recognize if you're going too slow because you die before getting any shots off. On the other end of the spectrum, if you die before you shoot, maybe you're going too slow. If it's an easy shot, you need to be going fast in order to beat the enemy to the shot. If it's an easy shot for you, it's also likely an easy shot for them, which will give you less time to aim before you die. Let's simplify this even further, taking the level of your mechanics out of the picture entirely. Have you ever considered why using the op is so strong for holding angles, regardless of peeker's advantage? Shouldn't you be able to peek an op and win because of peeker's advantage? Yeah, but you don't. So why is that? This is the exact same concept that I'm talking about. It's also why marshals can win ranged duels against vandals. I think of it this way: if a target is bigger, you can aim faster at it and still be consistent hitting it. So when you ADS on op, you're maximizing target size. Not only does the target become bigger, because you are zoomed in, you can one shot with a body shot, and the body's way bigger than the head. Whereas with a vandal, you are usually not ADSing, and you need to hit a headshot for it to insta-kill, making the target much smaller. Thus, the opper can aim faster than the vandaler and still be just as, if not more, consistent. The marshal is the same idea, you just need to hit headshots, which makes it harder than opping. I am genuinely amazed that this idea isn't popularized already because of its importance from a competitive standpoint. This will 100% help you win more duels. If a shot is easy, you should be aiming fast. If a shot is hard, you should aim slow. However, you also need to consider the enemy's perspective as well. If the shot is easy for the enemy, you should aim fast, even if it's hard for you, because you know you will be dying very quickly. If the shot is hard for the enemy, you should be taking your time, because you know it will take them longer to kill you on average. With all that being said, of course there's exceptions. Some people hit crazy shots, but that doesn't mean it's consistent. Consider the following situations, all of which are 1v1 duels, purely a mechanical viewpoint. The first, both you and your enemy have an easy shot. This can mean a lot of things, maybe a big target because they're close to you, good crosshair placement, bad movement, etc. The list goes on. The faster player will win on average. This is because with an easy shot, you can hit it very consistently while also going fast. Think of grid shot. You can aim really fast and still hit targets. You could not hit the targets as fast if they were much smaller, and that's just a fact. That brings us to the next scenario. Both players have a hard shot. The player who takes their time in this scenario is going to win the duel more consistently. Obviously, you can't just aim like a grandma, but you need to be dynamic and aim slower than if you were playing grid shot. The player who tries to aim faster in this scenario will usually lose because of the added inaccuracy. With a smaller target, it's less likely they will hit the shot going top speed. So if you are going slower, taking the time for the added accuracy, doing so will allow you to win the duel more on average than the player going for speed. With just these two situations, it's pretty simple. Under equal circumstance, you should aim slower against the harder targets and faster against the easier targets in order to maximize your aim duel win rate. The odd situations are when the duel is uneven. This is when one player has, let's say, an easy shot and the other has a hard shot. In this situation, the optimal way to play depends on which player you are. If you are the player with an easy shot, take your time. If you're the player with the hard shot, you need to rush it. This situation's weird because it's the opposite of the default situation. If the enemy has an easy shot, it's likely you're gonna die fast. So in order to give yourself a fighting chance, you really need to aim quickly. The contrary is the same for the player with an easy shot. You should be taking your time because the chances the other player kills you quickly are low. An in-game example of the player with an easy shot would be holding an off angle, or if they're behind the enemy. Bringing it all together into simpler terms, this is how I understand the topic on a day-to-day when implementing it in my games. It's good to take your time aiming when the target is hard to hit, unless they have an easy shot on you. Then you need to aim quickly. It's good to aim fast if the target is easy to hit, unless they have a hard shot on you. Then you should take your time to maximize your advantage. In all situations, it's a balance of aiming faster than your opponent, but also more accurately than your opponent. Based on circumstance, the importance of speed versus accuracy changes dynamically. Obviously, you never want all speed and no accuracy, but you also don't want all accuracy and no speed. Dynamic here means constantly changing in every situation. Like I stated before, a good rule of thumb is to aim faster at easy targets and slower at harder targets. Like I said, it's dynamic, so the harder the shot, the slower you can go, and vice versa. That's the gist of it and my basic understanding of the topic. I found this topic super interesting because it better explains what goes into winning an aim duel on a deeper level than just pure raw mouse control. You can win more duels by doing this even if your aim's worse than your opponent. Thus, this is even more important to understand than it is for you to improve upon your aim. Obviously, you should be doing both, but if you aim train and have decent mouse control but still feel stuck, this is likely why. I personally work on this inside of aim trainers and it's helped me immensely. Hopefully, this helps a lot of you guys out too. Obviously, this was just aim theory and I'm open to discussion and curious what y'all think about this. So far, it's helping me in my gunfight consistency, but definitely let me know how it works out for you guys.